Oshkosh Media is government programming on GovTV, community programming on Life TV, and community radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9.
Welcome to the City Manager's Report, a look at city updates and a preview of the next Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda.
And thanks for joining us for this edition of the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig, and in a moment we'll be joined by our City Manager, Mark Roloff. As usual, in the first half of today's show, we'll have some municipal news updates, including information from city departments and news that residents can use. In the second half, we'll highlight items from the upcoming Tuesday, December 12th, Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda. And with that, we bring in our City Manager, Mark Roloff. Mark, thanks for joining us today.
Great to be here, Andy.
All right. Well, we have a lot to talk about today, and I know that one thing that we will be talking about here is that there's currently some emergency work that's happening over by the water filtration plant, Menominee Park area. And, you know, I know that a lot, we've been speaking a lot lately about that Clearwells project over there. Is this related to that at all?
No, it's not related to the Clearwells project at all, but it's important to clarify that. As part of our regular maintenance at the water filtration plant, we conducted an inspection of our water intake pipe that goes out into Lake Winnebago to take in our water. And this is a 60-inch diameter pipe. And upon inspection, it was 50 to 60% full of sediment. And this was actually back in May of this year. Meanwhile, we have some backup water intakes that are our old water intakes that we had for years. And those were damaged by ice shoves over the last couple of years. So with both of those at risk, I am technically the Board of Public Works for the City of Oshkosh. So I declared an emergency to get these resolved before winter because you just don't fix these in a few weeks. So we've gone through a long process with the Department of Natural Resources, and after talking to them just last week and actually bringing in the governor's office with the help of Representative Lori Palmieri, we were able to get the DNR to allow us to clean this pipe as soon as possible due to the emergency in the coming winter. And the reason it's a concern is because there's this concept known as frazzle ice, where this ice can get built into the intake. It actually gets created within the intake pipe itself. Oh. And with such blockage, it increases the likelihood of frazzle ice forming, and it could literally block our intake pipe. We just can't take that risk. This is about our drinking water, our fire water. So it's so important that we get this done. So appreciate that the DNR is giving us this permission to do this. So I think it's important for everybody to know that you're going to see some staging beginning at Menominee Park as the contractor starts setting up equipment for that.
Yeah, so this is in Menominee Park area. Will this impact Pratt Trail and what's going on over there?
Yeah, well, you know, I was worried that people might think that Pratt Trail work was continuing through the winter, but because of winter conditions, the work on Pratt Trail is done for the season. But they'll be going past Pratt Trail to get towards the lake, because that's kind of where the area where the water intake pipe is. And, you know, this goes out, you know, like a half mile into the lake. So we're going to be working on that, but it has nothing to do with Pratt Trail. So if anybody's concerned about that, no, that's not the case. But any activity that you're going to see out there is all due to this cleaning of this intake pipe. But this really is a legitimate emergency for our purposes, because it's our health and safety, it's our water that we want to. So our goal is to get the pipe cleaned by the end of the year, by December 31. Okay. Hopefully sooner, but the idea is that you're going to see a lot of activity over the next few weeks so that we can get this all done and out of the way. Okay. And so we're hoping to get it all done by the end of the year.
Okay. And how about those additional intake pipes, the backups, if you will?
Yeah, those are not part of what we're doing in this first round of work. We're still going to work with those, but this will get the immediate concern that we have with our main intake pipes. If we can get this sediment cleaned out, a 60-inch pipe, fully clean, presents really no risk and so we'll be in good shape for the winter.
Okay, well, this is an important project, and it's good to see that everything is moving forward to take care of this. All right, we also have some big news from the Oshkosh Public Library, and it looks like they are welcoming a new director.
It's very exciting anytime you're having a new person, but the new library director is Daryl Eschett. He begins his role on January 15th, 2024. Daryl's currently the director of the West Des Moines, Iowa Public Library, position he's held since 2012. And Daryl was also, he has some Wisconsin ties. He was previously the library director over in Chippewa Falls. So he has some familiarity with Wisconsin, and I think that was part of his motivation to come back. I think some of his family has ties to Wisconsin, so we're happy to welcome Daryl back. Sure.
And he has a great background. He's been involved with some renovation projects and improving efficiencies and things like that.
I think the library board was impressed with his knowledge of things that we've dealt with or will be dealing with. He led a $1.3 million building renovation project, not unlike what we did back about 30 years ago, but leveraging funding and partnerships to advance library and community initiatives. And the library board very much wants to keep those types of community initiatives out there. So I think he's uniquely qualified to lead those types of efforts. So, so we're very happy. And two other people I think are also very happy, and we want to thank them. They are our assistant library directors that have been co-directors. Ruth Percy and Lisa Sumter Voss have been the interim co-directors during this search period, which has been close to 5 months. So I want to thank Ruth and Lisa for keeping things afloat during during this transition time. And I know they're going to be great resources to Mr. Eschett as he begins his duties as library director.
Well, Ruth and Lisa have been working very hard, so I'm sure they're very happy to see somebody new come in and get things moving along over there.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to working on new initiatives with the library. It's a great library. I think it's one of the best in the state. So let's keep that moving.
Okay, excellent. More news to come as we move forward. All right. The Oshkosh Police Department, they have an exciting thing that they were taking part in recently called the Lights of Christmas Northeast Wisconsin. And this was a campaign where they were able to receive some items that they're able to use in their work here in Oshkosh.
This is a charitable initiative that's pretty much done by every police department in Northeast Wisconsin. Our police department has been a big part of that. There was a handoff event over on November 22nd over at Lambeau Field from 70 departments putting together these blessings bags and putting other things together to distribute them. And the Oshkosh Police Department received $4,000 worth of gift cards and 50 of these blessing bags that'll be given out throughout the holiday season to those in need in our community. Our officers come across folks, families, individuals who are having some tough times during the holidays, and this is just one way to give them a little assistance with that. So it was a great event. You see Officer Kate Mann there with Packers quarterback Jordan Love, so he was there to help support law enforcement and support the Lights of Christmas effort. So I know that the police department is honored to be part of this amazing program and to be able to bring some extra holiday cheer for people less fortunate in our community. So it's a great event for us, and very pleased and proud of our police department in essentially volunteering for this type of work.
Right. Well, and similarly, over at the Oshkosh Fire Department, they've been involved in trying to support our community with another event that they've been taking part in. And we've mentioned this before, but we just wanted to mention that there are some more dates coming up if folks would like to still participate.
I love the sibling rivalry stuff between police and fire, especially when they're doing something for the community, because the community wins and they get to trash talk each other. It's kind of fun. But the fire department for a number of years has been doing the food and toy drive. And And there are only 2 dates left that they're still working on. That's December 11th and 12th. December 11th is over by Station 17 to the north side area for Station 17 and 19. And then Station 18 is on Tuesday, December 12th. The fire department is going to be walking the streets in these routes, collecting items door to door on specific nights. And usually they make lots of noise, and so people go, what's going on? Oh, grab some canned food out of the cupboard. They accept non-perishable food items, new unwrapped gifts, wrapping paper, tape, and cash donations. Anything donated, all the items donated are given to the Salvation Army and distributed through their regular Christmas holiday distribution program. The monetary donations are given to the Oshkosh Firefighters Charitable Trust and the Gary Kasubi Scholarship Program. So some scholarships, really great programs. You can see our firefighters and their families get involved in this. And I've walked this over the years and just seen what a great message that they send to their children in terms of giving back to the community, which our fire department are just known for. So you can find the routes, the specific routes and the maps on the food drive and Troy drive on the fire department's Facebook page and Instagram pages. So going to start at 5 o'clock on these days, so be on the lookout for them. And if you can give a little, I'm sure it'll mean a lot to a lot of people in our community.
Right. Yeah, those routes are on those social media sites there if you want the specifics of what streets they will be traveling. But very great initiative there from the Oshkosh Fire Department. Okay, kind of changing gears a little bit, Mark. We have our landscape operations division is doing some maintenance work. They're taking care of our trees in the winter when that's a good time to prune trees.
Winter pruning is an annual event, as you can expect, and our landscape operations folks do a great job of that. They actually do about 2,000 trees, pruning 2,000 trees every single year. This year, they're going to be concentrating on the area east of Highway 41 all the way over to Lake Winnebago, but south of 9th Avenue. So that's where you'll see most of the activity going on. So when they prune, the staff removes dead wood that's over 2 inches, broken or diseased branches, and branches hanging less than 16 feet above the road and 8 feet above the sidewalk. So they give some clearance for vehicles and pedestrians. And we'd ask for your patience as the crews move through the neighborhoods to prune our street trees. So thanks in advance for giving them a little leeway in getting their job done.
Sure. And again, this is east of Highway 41 to Lake Winnebago and south of 9th Avenue where this work will be taking place. So if you see the crews out there, that's what they're up to, and appreciate your patience in working around them a little bit. Okay, it's that season of year where the tax bills are sent out for property taxes, and those will be mailed out the week of December 11th coming up here.
These are probably the least favorite mailing that you get over the course of the year. I totally understand it, but I certainly appreciate it because the property taxes are a big revenue source for us. The goal is to get our property tax bills mailed out next week, the week of December 11th. So hopefully sometime that week you'll be seeing them. We have to get them to you by the 18th anyway, so you'll be getting them fairly soon. Just keep monitoring our social media for news about the mailing date and for the multiple payment options that are available. The payment options are listed on the tax bill, but we also have a little graphic for that as well. You can certainly just mail it in. There's a drop box here at City Hall. If you really want to, you can come in person at City Hall. Not necessary though. You can also do it in person at the lobby of Community First Credit Union locations here in Oshkosh, Associated Bank locations, and as I said, as collections window at City Hall. There's also www.oshkoshbillpay.com. There is a slight fee associated with that, and that's just for the cost of us processing that. That's the details on the tax bills, but I did want to mention one little thing because there was some stuff on social media and sort of using the Christmas analogy. Again, this isn't the greatest thing you get at Christmas during the holidays, but I know there is some technical capabilities that people can peek at their tax bill before it gets mailed out. And we got some people getting all worked up over the last couple of days because our bills weren't complete, but they were still showing it, and the credits from the state had not yet been applied. So it looked like a pretty sizable increase. Now your tax bills are going up, no question, but they're not going up as drastically. I would say don't peek at the tax bill until you get it in the mail. The idea is eventually, if you need to reference it for some other reason, you can always reference it at the website, but it's sort of available in an incomplete fashion. So please don't peek unnecessarily until after you get your paper bill.
That online version is still being processed, so it's really not a final document until it's mailed out.
No, it's not. And definitely the credits haven't been applied yet as you look online. They should be in the next couple of days, but I would say just don't look at it until you get your paper bill.
Okay, all right. Good update there to be aware of that one. Okay. Then also we have some updates, reminders from our sanitation division. These are kind of those seasonal things again that take place. The yard waste drop-off center, we're in the winter hours at this point for that area.
Right, from December through the end of March, the winter hours are only 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. The drop-off centers close Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays during the winter schedule. So please be aware, that's still the same location on 3rd Avenue, but restricted hours in the winter, and I don't think people are out doing much yard work anyway. Right.
And this is the last program that we'll be doing before the Christmas holiday. And so there will be no garbage or recycling collection on December 25th or on Monday, January 1st. And the collection will be pushed one day later on both of those weeks, I understand.
That's correct. And also the City Hall and the Yard Waste Drop-Off Center will be closed on Monday, December 25th and Tuesday, December 26th. It'll reopen, and we'll reopen on December 27th, and it's also closed on Monday, January 1st. Similarly, the library, Oshkosh Public Library, will be closed December 24th and 25th and January 1st. The museum will be closed the 24th through the 26th of December, as well as December 31st and January 1. And then Go Transit, there's going to be no bus service on Monday, December 25th, or Monday, January 1st. So those are the service impacts, but we wish everybody happy holidays, and this will enable some of our employees to get a little well-deserved rest.
Right. And we will recap all of these details on city social media, so you can always take a look there if you forget exactly what those dates are. Okay, just wanted to make a note, Mark. We at Oshkosh Media were recently honored with an award. We've been working with the Disabled American Veterans, Chapter 17. There's a program that they do called The Outpost, and they wanted to, show us a little bit of love.
Yeah, I think this is great because you guys have helped the DAV, Disabled American Veterans, do this show for the last 2 years. And it's actually an award-winning show called The Outpost. It's on Life TV, and Barbara Belmont, the commander of DAV Chapter 17, recently met with our Oshkosh Media staff. There they are to present them with the Commander's Award, recognizing all their support. The Outpost has actually been recognized as a top cable show in the Midwest. So it's probably good that I'm doing the plug because you guys are probably a little embarrassed by this, but you've done this to me before, so I'm throwing it right back at you.
Okay.
This show and everything that DAV does makes a difference in the life of veterans, and I think we're just happy and proud to do the show in the first place and then get the recognition. That's just icing on the cake. So thanks to DAV for the award, and thanks to DAV for all they do for our vets.
Absolutely, and we're very pleased to work with DAV. Great folks over there, and it's a great program. Actually, check it out. Looking for the Outpost on Life TV, you can see the listings for Life TV, and also posted online as well on the YouTube channel. So, thanks for that award. Okay, well, it's time for us to take a short break. Stay with us for some highlights from the upcoming Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig along with City Manager Mark Roloff. Let's turn our attention to the agenda items from the upcoming Tuesday, December 12th Oshkosh Common Council meeting. So Mark, it looks like it's a very full agenda coming up for Tuesday, and we have an item on here approving a new fire apparatus. And I understand that the lead time for ordering these is quite lengthy.
It sure is. And so this is a truck that is due to be replaced in 2026, but we know that the lead time on these is as much as 36 months. And so Pierce Manufacturing recommended to us to get this going now if we want delivery in 2026. So we're asking council to amend our capital improvement plan and approve this purchase so we can get the order in and get the wheels in motion so that we can get this apparatus on the street, because we do have a regular replacement schedule for our fire apparatus, and this is a fire aerial truck. So this is, for some of the higher buildings, and we want to make sure that we have our equipment up to date. So this is what we're doing.
Okay, all right, very good. Then also under the consent agenda, we have an item approving a services agreement, and this is for monitoring over at some former landfill sites. What can you tell us about that?
These are some of the old quarries in town, the Knapp Street Quarry, Keenest Paulus, Timmerman. These became landfills eventually by private individuals, but even though they were privately owned, anytime we put any municipal garbage in any dump, we assume responsibility for it. So the Knapp Street Quarry and the Keenest Paulus Quarry are in the same general vicinity around Knapp and 17th. And so we need to monitor these for buildup of gas methane type of gas that can create an explosion risk. Back on Knapp Street in the 1970s, there was actually an explosion because of that. And we lost a couple of houses there. So we are regularly monitoring this. Similarly, on this far south side of town in our industrial area is what's known as the old Timmerman landfill, and that's another one that we have to monitor. The entire cost to monitor these landfills / quarries is $136,000. We cannot take this safety concern lightly. So, and we're responsible for it according to state law. So even though we never operated these things, we still have to take care of them. So that's our responsibility, and unfortunately the taxpayers have to foot that bill for it.
Okay, all right. And then we also have an agenda item. It looks like some infrastructure improvements at some various locations here, and some of these are in the Stringham Creek area, so we're covering a lot of different infrastructure projects here.
Yeah, well, there's a couple projects. One that's planned for 2024, and we're going to be awarding the bid. This is actually on the near. It's two streets altogether: East 7th Avenue, east of South Main Street, going over to the end of East 7th Avenue, over by where the Sawdust District and the and that new housing development is going to be going in, as well as Grand Street, which is from Parkway Avenue to East Irving Avenue. Both of those streets are going to be redone, and so we're real happy to get that project done. Similarly, you mentioned Stringham Creek, and that's that area between bounded by Ohio Street, Michigan Street, and then West 7th Avenue and West 5th Avenue. Little known fact, probably the widest sidewalk in the city is in that stretch of West 7th Avenue, because it's a 10-foot wide sidewalk. It's actually the very top of a culvert that was built there, and it doubles as a sidewalk. That is undersized for that area, because this developed area is what used to be a very natural Stringham Creek, but it got covered up many years ago. We need to increase the size to get the water away. We still get water that collects over near 9th and 10th and Ohio Street, and it goes through this area. We need to get the water over to the Fox River faster, and we're working backwards from the river to get over to 10th and Ohio eventually. So this is the next phase of this project that we're working on.
Okay. Now it looks like we're also awarding a bid for that same area there for the reconstruction of the roads. Yeah,
eventually that's what we'll be doing. It's a $6 million contract, so that's not anything light. So another project for 2024.
Okay. All right. And then under our pending ordinances, we have, this is usually every year, canceling the second council meeting for December this year.
Yeah, especially when the meeting day is on a scheduled city holiday. So because of where Christmas falls, the 26th, we're also going to be closed. And council is typically cancel that meeting, and they have to take official action. So this is the last city manager's report that we're going to be doing to cover a council meeting for the year. So don't tune in on December 26th. Watch a football game or go do Christmas post-Christmas specials.
Okay. Then under our new resolutions, we have an item approving a term sheet, and this is for a low-income housing development over by Jefferson Street. If you could explain what a term sheet is and why we're approving it.
Yeah, well, the Redevelopment Authority has already granted approval to sell this property to a developer to do low-income housing. One of the things they discovered is to remain eligible for a tax credit through the state, they need to apply by December 31 to keep their eligibility because of some of the rules and regulations that govern this program. So the term sheet essentially identifies the terms that will eventually become part of a formal agreement between the city and the developer, but they want to make sure that they still qualify for the tax credit. So the term sheet essentially lays out each of our respective responsibilities so that they can proceed with the tax credit application. But we'll come back later with a formal contract for the council to approve.
Okay. All right. We'll stay tuned on that one. All right. Then we also have an item. We are approving an implementation plan amendment, and this is for a development over at Lake Butamore Drive. And I know this was sent back to the Plan Commission by the council, and I know it's sort of gone back and forth a little bit. So.
It has. Back in April, the council had approved an amendment to the plan that was proposed by the developer to make it a 3-story building. The developer took a look at that and provided some documentation about why this project was going to be much more expensive, and they inquired about some support through tax increment financing, and discussed it with council, and they weren't too inclined to want to do tax increment financing, nor was I. And so the council asked that the Plan Commission re-review it with a 4-story concept returned to that. And, when you think about it, it was going to reduce the number of units by over 100 units. So that's 100 fewer units in a time when we need more housing in the city. Even though this is, middle to higher end type of apartments, it still takes away from the demand that we have. So we want to have more housing, not less. And I don't think we necessarily need to provide a subsidy if we can put them in a situation where they can efficiently, from a cost standpoint, get this project done. So staff and I certainly support the change, even though it's been kind of whipsawed back and forth. I know there are people who disagree with that assessment, but I'll just respectfully disagree. I think this is good for the community. I think it's the right location for this type of development. And I think years from now, people will see that this is will be a welcome addition to our community.
Well, there's been a lot of discussion already, and we'll keep it moving forward.
Yes, we sure will.
Okay. All right. And then it looks like we have a quick item looking at special assessment options, some discussion about that.
Council is still discussing ways in which they can get rid of the special assessments to reconstruct streets. And one of the options they had us look at was something that might include having the utilities pay into this a little bit more. And we've done a fiscal analysis about what it would be. And it's roughly about 1/4 to 0.5% more a year in rates. And that's certainly, we're very sensitive about our utility rates and everything. So council's going to discuss that and see if that's something that they want us to keep pursuing. So we're going to keep that discussion going.
Okay. Well, it looks like a jam-packed meeting, Mark. It looks like a lot to discuss, and thank you for giving us some insights on all these items today.
Always a pleasure, Andy.
All right, and thank you for joining us today as well. We appreciate you tuning in. Again, that Oshkosh Common Council meeting is at 6 p.m. this Tuesday, December 12th. That's at City Hall at 215 Church Avenue. And you can watch that live as usual on GovTV, which is Spectrum Channel 10, UVerse Channel 99, and streaming on YouTube and OshkoshMedia.org. And remember, you can always use your favorite streaming device, a Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV. Just search for the Oshkosh Media app. And you can always visit YouTube for the archived government meeting library there. Again, join us in 2 weeks for the top 10 of 2023 edition of the City Manager's Report, where we look at what was noteworthy this year in the city of Oshkosh. Thanks again for watching.